Oh wow, I'm way down here. Okay. Probably should turn that down. Get kicked the fuck out. Oh, but that's YouTube. That don't have nothing to do with. Okay. Let's see. I'm thinking maybe. Hey. I can switch you to the guest. You'll only be able to see my head. Now, I don't know how to tell if anybody's here. Glamour. Dance party. Hey. Oh, I don't know if I need all that. Okay, look.
Hey, you're live
On YouTube.
Hey, YouTube.
They have all kind of funky filters. They have one called Dance Party. Okay, look, have disco lights in here.
They're like, oh my God, so many people at the gate. They're just waiting.
Are you
Okay,
serious?
I have to get you guys in first. Before everybody else in.
Okay, I guess that's good.
John's here, Latoya's here, and the gentleman
Dante?
no, Adante gentleman. He's the producer for Hi
So
Guys. Digital Glass.
does he want to come in and set up the
Oh,
camera?
let me ask him.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Or home. All right. I got it. Uh-huh. Now, how do I send them the address?
get your tea?
Oh, um, yeah. What do I have? Okay, Michael is downstairs
I'm gonna go
now.
down there and get him now, and I'll get your tea
Um,
after that.
yeah.
Who's coming in first? Everybody or John is here?
Is Teach out there?
No, not yet.
Um, let's see. I had actually kind of everybody. Let me see
Okay.
who did I say I was gonna talk to first. Yeah, you can bring because it's basically the whole show is all of them. I was gonna kind of try to start with Teach, but you can bring everybody in.
Okay.
What time is it?
47.
47.
So
Yeah.
like this. There
Oh.
you go. You're good. Just 47's okay. What time or 50? What time you want him?
Yeah, 50.
50.
50. Yeah.
Tonto's coming in tonight?
Is he here?
No.
Dear
I haven't
Jesus.
seen him. I don't say that. I haven't seen him yet.
Okay. Um.
You waving at the camera?
Oh, I'm trying to.
Go back.
People are people are hard headed. They are like
It's still going to your face.
Facebook Live. I'm gonna go on my Insta stories. Let's see. Instagram.
Said he was fine out there for now, so I was like, okay, cool.
Oh, okay. When they come in, will you bring the tequila shot tray?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, poor thing. It's like every flat.
Okay.
But just think, after that, you can sleep tomorrow, hopefully.
Well, yeah, I gotta be here at 1. I gotta meet with Phil at 1.
How did the thing go? The feedback from the.
He said it was excellent.
Oh.
He said he was really happy with it. So
Okay.
that
So
was
something
good.
that we can clean and everything.
Yeah, and most people.
I was like,
Right. And most people say, "Hey, hey, Blue Steel, hey, Tammy, hey, JJ." Okay, so now y'all came over here. I'm trying to get y'all to come over to YouTube, but ain't nobody going to YouTube. But they're on. Hey, JJ. That's Javid.
Hi, guys.
Fabulous Girls Rock. The rest of the crew for the show is on its way in. I probably look pale because I've been fighting. No, it's been winning. But not today. This is the last show for. Hi, Greg Adamson. What's up, boo? This is the last show for 2017 of Hot Talk. So, because Christmas Eve will be just Christmas music. And then on New Year's Eve, I'll be here, but the mixers will be on, and I'll be doing like a DJ set. I'll be doing an air check for 2018, finally. Phil has been asking me for one forever. Okay, wait, so
everybody.
I'm supposed to be pulling my music while I'm talking to you. Yeah, what time is it?
Okay, 4 minutes. So I'm gonna go start getting ready to get ready to come in.
Yeah. I'm gonna start tonight. DJ Barry, what's up?
Let me see if anybody's at the gate real quick.
Hello. Hey, True. Sorry. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna open with, but the way I'm feeling, I think I'm gonna go with Sunday Kind of Love. Let's see. Did it come up? I know it's in here. How is everybody? Rick Perry, 35. What's up? Oh, DJ Barry. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. Listen, I have had the worst cold. This shit is not playing. You hear me? Wait a minute. Where is my? Huh? Okay. What is going on? How are you?
Hey, fine. How are you?
That's Dante. There's
Hey,
John.
Jill, what's going on?
See?
You live right now, huh?
What's up, babe?
I'm just
Yeah, I'm a little fluish.
Oh, yeah. Keep all that. I got you. I got you.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, it's been some other. Listen, I know I had to go have a butyrol treatment because it was, my lung function had like dropped. It was, it's not a joke right now. It's crazy. Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
There's Latoya and there's Michael. Say hey, y'all. Hey.
Hello.
Right? Yeah, you're gonna like 1, 2, 3. Well, you know what? We can bring this mic over, and then the 3 of you can sit. If we I'm gonna move this one.
Okay.
Whoa!
Don't want to do that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
Move that one over, like as far as that way, and then you can sit there. Okay, why am I directing with the damn phone? Yeah.
Show you how attached you are to devices.
Hey, sex therapist Jen. I hope you feel better, Jen. Look, I'm spitzing. It's not a good thing. Okay, so listen, I'm trying to get you all to come to YouTube. Over here. Go to the Jill Tracey Show YouTube. Okay.
All her stuff ready.
Because I need to get off of this phone. You do? You feel better? I'm glad to hear that. Okay, look, I gotta go into the show, you guys. I love you, man.
50.
Hey, I'm City. Well, I feel like I don't want to leave here because all y'all over here.
Fox Hot Talk. Keep it locked right here on your number one.
But I gotta put one of y'all down.
So much for the love.
Okay, maybe I can set them in here.
Good night.
Oh, they won't be able to see shit like that.
There.
I don't know. See how?
Walk all around without. Yeah, that's what I was talking before here. Like second floor. Let me see if we can.
We're missing Teach. You let her teach.
So why call them when you're in a car accident? Remember, after 911, call 411 1-800-411-PAIN.
Think?
You'll be entitled to a minimum of $10,000.
Okay, so realize that the view is better on YouTube.
Why call just one attorney when one
I'm
call
just saying.
and one pain can
You
put
can
you
see
in
everybody
one of
just
hundreds of
here.
attorneys in our network. Car
See, now you can see everybody over there. Oh, I'm gonna ask Dante to help me out with this because Munch would usually be here, but he's had a death in the family, and so we won't.
Like go to YouTube.
I know, right? Please go to YouTube. See that way?
All day.
Take care of you in good times and
that your
stormy
Instagram
times too. With
Huh?
convenient locations. Call us
This is YouTube.
that's YouTube Live.
This is Instagram Live. Oh, I wanted to see if you could position that
Senior Medical Center.
some kind of so they can see y'all over there.
Anyone who has taken Nexium,
Yeah, you see, I'm
Prilosec,
like
or any
messing.
other proton
Okay,
pump
we're gonna
inhibitor to
go-
treat heartburn, indigestion, or
Okay,
acid reflux, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. The Journal of American Medical Association recently reported that proton pump inhibitors, including Nexium and Prilosec, may increase the chances of individuals developing chronic kidney disease by 50%. If you or a loved one took Nexium, Prilosec, or any other proton pump inhibitor and have experienced kidney
yeah.
problems such as chronic kidney disease, renal or kidney failure, dialysis
It
treatment, or
is,
even a related death, call 800-291-6517 now.
Governor
You may be
Cox.
entitled to significant compensation, but hurry, time is limited. If you or a loved one took Nexium, Prilosec, or any other proton pump inhibitor, call 800-291-6517. Operator standing by 24/7. Call 800-291-6517. That's 800-291-6517.
I don't think it's gonna get everybody in there
6517.
Your
Okay,
destination
well.
for the holiday celebration and a 35-year tradition. Santa's new rides are amazing. Showing 100
Well, they really gonna see Toya, but
is Santa's Sky High Wheel. It's the biggest traveling wheel in the world, and it joins Santa's nice list of over 100 rides, shows, games, and attractions. Pay one price, and all rides, shows, lights, and parking are free. Voted best place to chill. Head to the most lit holiday theme park and get ready to smile, laugh, and have a thrilling holiday experience. Friends, family, and fun. It's Santa's. Buy discount tickets at Walgreens.
Backed by popular demand.
We live in a crazy time. I think all bullets should cost $5,000. Somebody get shotgun. Yeah, you
Okay, do they have their?
One more chance for Chris Rock.
you have a contemplated murder. You ain't been in the
Chris Rock Total Blackout Tour.
all my black friends have a bunch of white friends, and all my white friends have one black friend.
Chris Rock, backed by popular demand. Friday, January 5th, 8 p.m. Hard Rock
What?
Live. Tickets at myhrl.com.
January 5th,
Seminole
shut
Hard Rock
up.
Hotel and Casino.
Can you
The
look and
face of
see if
Medicare is changing. Driving this
The,
change forward is Coventry Medicare with
the-
plan options
the
designed
light,
to help
the
you enjoy life your
phone
way.
is
If you live in
flashing.
an area that was affected by
clicker
Hurricane
is
Irma,
with
you may
on the
still be able to
edge.
sign up for a
There it
Medicare
is.
Advantage plan. Call
That's
today
on.
at 1-844-612-2051 from 8
You gave me
a.m.
that
to 8
nasty
p.m.
code.
Monday through Friday. For more
You gave
information,
me that
call
nasty code.
1-844-612-2051 today.
stay on.
Kissing. It's become a
Yeah,
holiday
like, take these
tradition.
home.
And now at the UPS store, you can kiss small lines
That's a
goodbye.
damn shame.
Unlike other shipping
You have
places,
your
our
headphones?
certified packing experts are ready to help.
I have a jack
With over
if you wanna-
4,500 locations and our exclusive
Yeah.
pack and ship
Oh, for like-
guarantee,
what do
you
you
can
mean,
kiss
like my own
worry
headphones?
and wasted time.
Yeah, you
Bye-bye.
can
Want your
attach
holidays made
your.
easy? No problem.
Oh,
Oh no, this is just
UPS
a charger.
United
Oh,
Problem
okay.
Solvers.
Where's
The
that?
UPS Store Pack and Ship Guarantee is available at participating locations.
Yeah.
Restrictions and limitations apply. Visit the upsstore.com/guarantee for full details.
Hey, this is Mike Epson. You're listening to WHQT Coral Gables. That's right, Miami's Hot 105. It's Day Day, y'all.
What happened, Jim?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
Here, you can go with this.
Jim, we plugging in right here?
I don't know. Go with that. Go with that.
That won't play. That's not gonna play. Where is it? Which one?
Go there.
Okay.
We got 2 people on YouTube.
Tell Jill Keith is at the gate. Her other guest is at the
Could the rest of y'all go over there?
It's Hot Talk. Joe Tracey, always live, always local, always entertaining and educating South Florida. Celebrating over 30 years, Hot Talk continues to be the pulse of South Florida. Relevant, engaging, informative. Now, here's your host, Jill Tracey.
We wish to plead our own cause. For too long, others have spoken for us. That was John Rossworm and Samuel Cornish. And good evening. I am Jill Tracey. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Hot Talk, South Florida's #1 community affairs show. Each and every Sunday night from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., we highlight the achievements and discuss the challenges of our community with you and an engaging panel of guests. And I invite you, as always, to have a seat. Perhaps you'll have a cocktail and join the conversation at 888-550-9105. My jewels tonight mark the 190th year anniversary of the first black newspaper, the Freedom Journal, founded by Reverend Peter Williams Jr. and other free black men in New York City. It was published weekly from 1827 to 1829. Yeah, no, it's only 2 years. You know, the editors got into it and, okay. Anyway, the Freedom Journal circulated in 11 states, D.C., Haiti, Europe, and Canada, linking black people, creating a powerful community. The Freedom Journal, sort of like Black Twitter and all other methods of communication, has been created because others have always felt equipped to speak for us. And here, now with the internet, it finally seemed like we had a place that unfiltered voices could be heard, needs addressed, and net neutrality found. And we have gladly given the net all of our information for free, right? So they know us so well now. So then this week when I heard the FCC voted 3-2 to repeal the restrictions that demand the internet service providers meet certain standards, most importantly, neutrality, all I could hear was Trump 2016. What the hell do you have to lose? How about the world and everything in it? The internet has been like breaking the third wall. It leveled the playing field where all citizens are equal. The playing field leveled, right? So you're limited only by your own ambition. But the repeal of net neutrality could end all that. Like everything else, be it the benefit of the wealthy and the burden of the rest of us. So how do we combat cyber slavery, cyber segregation in the Trump era? We'll talk about that tonight on Hot Talk. Plus, the man who made his daddy's mac and cheese the main course, we'll talk to him. And Bitcoins, now it's buzzing. But then, is it busted at the same time? For as many of those that salute and are following the path of Bitcoins, there are just as many naysayers saying, oh, hold on a minute. If you go on YouTube right now, you could join us, first of all, on YouTube if you go to the Jill Tracey Show on YouTube. But if you go on YouTube, you'll see just as many naysayers as you will those touting Bitcoins as the next leveled playing field for all. Is it? We'll talk tonight with a few acutely aware and involved in the internet, cyber, our ecosystem, cyber currency, communication, and all things tech, as well as a mean mac and cheese. So let me introduce my guests first of all. Michael Hall and Latoya Stirrup are digital grassroots innovation and technology, which is like digit, right? DIGIT, dedicated to establishing a diverse entrepreneurial ecosystem in South Florida. Digit strives to bring diversity, inclusion, and innovation and technology in South Florida by providing assistance to their affiliate companies. Now, as owner and senior managing partner of Medium 4, Michael oversees the development of technology and marketing solutions to build and brand companies from inception to execution. And as co-founder of Digital Grass, Latoya looks to connect all of her passions and dedication to the growth of Miami by providing budding entrepreneurs with strategic thinking and execution. Though through their initiatives and resources, Digit provides minorities and women owned startups and established companies with access to mentors, financial investors, symposiums, and other business development tools. Great spirits, both willing and able to be who they are and help you figure out just exactly who you are. Welcome to Hot Talk. Michael and LaToya.
Well,
Thank you.
for having us.
That was a fantastic intro, Joe.
So glad to have you.
We'll just take that bit.
Okay. I will. Yeah. I will leave. You will leave with a recording. Not only will you leave with cocktails, but you'll get a recording of the show when you leave.
Definitely want to leave with that tequila.
Well, I'm glad you like Tiaras. Homegrown tequila, and it's all organic, which means that no ecosystem was disrupted in the making of that tequila.
That's so important.
You know.
That's what matters.
And I think in saying all that, I think that so if I had to say it for in 10 words or less, Michael and LaToya really help you take your mom and pop to the digital world and maximize your potential in that space. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
That's part of the story.
Tell the story.
So initially, when we started Digital Grass, we wanted to do just that. We wanted to be an accelerator for small businesses to make sure that, because all of us, we have our own companies and we have a marketing and advertising background. So we wanted to provide those businesses with that level of expertise to make sure that they are entering in the market at a level that they should be, right?
Right.
However, we decided to also pivot about a year or so ago to get into content creation. So that's how we started Tech Beats and Bites. And that was all about showcasing and honoring and celebrating entrepreneurs who are looking to basically make their mark and share their story. We know that, Silicon Valley has had lots of discussions, and there's been, feedback in terms of the lack of diversity in Silicon Valley. And so one of the reasons why we wanted to also do Tech Beats and Bites was to showcase that there are people of color, women, LGBT professionals who are in the tech space, who are in innovation, and their stories need to be heard. So that's why we want to create the platform to do just that. And we do it at Wynwood Yard, as you know, because you were one of our guests.
Yes, I had the pleasure of being a guest a couple of weeks ago, and it was a great time. I really, really love the show. But you know what? It's funny because, I'm glad that I was in this. What was it? What are you in the third year now?
We haven't even
Sorta.
been a year yet.
No. That's not been a year? Okay, well, you are balling shot calling because I looked at some of the first ones. Okay, and the set is it was like a little tent, little rented Miami-Dade tent, and now, you got a set.
We made fast improvements, but it's only been 8 months.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great. Thank you. So your hope with Tech Bites and Beats and Bites?
Tech Beats and Bites.
Tech Beats and Bites. For the community. Now, are you streaming it live? So can people see it if they're not in the building?
We record and then we post stream.
Oh, okay.
Just because.
For editing.
Yeah, editing purposes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we do a little of both around here. We're still trying to figure out what works because it does kind of, if you're live, not only do I get kicked off of Facebook a lot because of the music, and it's not enough people to cut it off on the commercials and things like that. But at the same time, it can affect numbers because if someone is watching as opposed to listening, that's a no-no. So, we're working on it for next year to let them, to marry them both. Because it is sort of important now to be on all the platforms. We have so many, and it's, important to kind of use
for us, we ran data analytics. So we ran data analytics of when people are most intuitive to actual content. So entrepreneurs, primarily, if you think about it, they move on different hours versus a 9-to-5 person.
Amen.
So an entrepreneur might be up very late at night, but their lunch break or either their starting point is around noon.
Right.
Because of everything else that goes on. So we found running the content between 1 and 3, we were reaching more of our targeted demographics, which were entrepreneurs and startups.
Right.
Because that's kind of like their slow period or they're doing something. So at that point, they can tune in and listen. So we kept adjusting it. So, we went from 9, 10 o'clock in the morning to trying to run it at 7 o'clock at night. And we just found that sweet spot is around 2 or 3 o'clock.
So, how did you figure out those analytics for your show?
Looking at different tools. So Facebook is a really good option, especially if you're already on Facebook and you have an audience. Their analytics will tell you just about everything you need to know about your audience.
Well, yeah, that's true. Because it's interesting because my numbers are greatest with women during the day, the daytime show, and then greatest with men in this show. So men 35, 60 to 60, Shouts out to Brother Al, are up listening to the show, and we're just now starting to grow women. And I think that's, to your point, women for the most part are asleep right now, or they've already put all the kids to bed and whatever, and they're asleep and they have to be up. So yeah, so my like the time that I'm on. That's interesting. Maybe the time that I'm on during the day, like right after that. Then I run Hot Talk. Yeah. There you go. Mm-hmm. I'll see you learn something every day.
Yeah. So it's about knowing your audience, and the biggest thing for us was we didn't want to target it for just anybody. It's really specific. And you look at this, the way Facebook moves, the way people what they're posting in the morning versus what they start posting around at 2 or 3 o'clock mark. It's just a whole different vibe. So it just worked out for us that way. And that took our views from 24 views per video to about 1,000 views per video.
Right. And awesome. Even when you think about the platforms too, Jill, because I know you were saying that it's important to be across all. Mm-hmm. Maybe not. You have to figure out your right mix, especially when you're talking about a business. Mm-hmm. Everyone, your audience may not be, not you specifically, but a brand's audience may not be on Snapchat. So focusing on Snapchat may not be the right vehicle for you. So you have to find your particular platform so you're not stretched and trying to do content across all of the different social media platforms.
Is hard because a lot of people, it's just inundated. So I know you're on
YouTube. We got 4 now. We got 4. But there's like 30 over on Instagram, but like 4 on YouTube.
People follow more people's lifestyle on Instagram.
Right. Yeah.
So the more you post on Instagram, I know.
I live on Instagram. That's mine.
If you're looking at it, monetizing, it can be different things. But that was one of the best things between Teach. When we were starting off with Tech Beats and Bites, that was one of our strongest points was the Instagram account. So we don't even do that good on Facebook as far as getting people to the event, but getting people the content. Facebook totally different. Better than Instagram. So you do have to know your balance.
Yeah, I think that I definitely have Facebook. Facebook is more. It's kind of 50-50 men and women. However, Instagram is more women. And they're younger. Go figure.
Instagram started off for art and fashion. That was the focus of that. So.
I just love Instagram. And because Instagram will allow you to post on Twitter and Facebook, I'm like rarely ever there. But James T told me something very wise because we were, struggling with the Hot 105 sites and trying to figure them out. And he said, no one's there. When people go to our Facebook properties, there was nobody there. So it's like somebody coming to your house and knocking on the door and you're never there. At some point, they're going to stop coming. And so now that we've started to engage much heavier on our Facebook page, the numbers are day and night.
Yeah.
I think we were somewhere around 20,000. Now we're like at about 100. So yeah, big difference. Yeah. And also, in that digital marketing space, a friend of the show, John Sanders is back.
Hey, what's going on?
Your mic is not on.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Say hey.
Hey.
There he is.
What's going on?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How about yourself, Jill?
I am blessed and highly favored. Thank you for coming in again. Those of you who have not met John, John is a digital marketing strategist, and his main business is building brands online. He's worked with Land Rover, Audi, NAACP, and has utilized web development, content marketing, and social media to create marketing campaigns that resonate like Black Twitter. That's my go-to tonight. On one of the pieces that you do, it says strategy with hustle. Is that the I just love that because your latest site, blackwallet.com, just really is that. It's just I think you really hit such a sweet spot with that blackwallet.com because it's
.org. I'm sorry.
Oh, that too. Sorry.
But no, absolutely.
Yeah, because it is it's very smart, but at the same time it's fun. You use a lot of the vernacular of the culture, and I think it makes people less intimidated about talking about money and etc.
And that was the main reason that we really wanted to start it, because we didn't see anything in the space that was dedicated to just urban millennials or people of color that were looking to just go into finance or go into money management, but something that's kind of geared towards them. So the main thing was to kind of think of topics leverage this Facebook group that we have and really come up with content that resonates, right? So we just did an article about 10 free online courses that you can take in finance. And these courses are like from schools like Columbia and Harvard, and they're absolutely free classes. So this is stuff that, we might not necessarily know about, even just the general state, right? So for the urban community to be able to do that and leverage that online tools is just awesome.
Now, do you have, what is his name? Hey girl, hey. People just show up and I talk. Just turn around. It's like, hey, what is his, Boyce Watkins?
Yes.
Do you have him on the your list?
It's funny you say that because I just got an email from him regarding he's starting like a cryptocurrency course, which is great. I think especially our community needs to definitely get on this wave. It's not even really a wave; it's really the future, right? So, kind of getting in at the ground floor and understanding how cryptocurrency works, understanding how to leverage the blockchain can really, really benefit us.
Well, oh, there he is. Hey, Teach. How you doing, Pippin? Welcome. You can. Well, we'll get you. I'm gonna go to a break in a second, and we'll get you a seat. We'll get you a seat. So there's several pieces that we want to embrace tonight, and Teach is here. Many of you all know Teach. Everybody knows Teach. But now he is the proprietor of not one but two House of Mac restaurants. Well, one is mobile and one is now on South Beach. I was planning to come this weekend, but the way this cold is acting, all that cheese, okay, it just couldn't happen. I have to, but I've definitely been to the one in Wynwood before, and we've been friends for a long time. And it's really interesting because when I was preparing for the show, because Teach did in the streets what you all do online now. When Teach had a big mouth marketing, we put your business in the streets. That's when I first came in the game, and it was all about big mouth marketing, and he really was. I think prior to, you were kind of with Mike Gardner and them at the same. You all were all kind of like working together at the same time. But Big Mouth was not putting your business in the street. It just was not out there. Period. And we were still Motorola two-way paging at the time. We hadn't really gotten deep into the internet yet. But then I left. I went to LA and I came back, and then he was Planet Pit. He was running Luke's. He was doing everything, and then to see him segue into something that his heart really desires, having really kind of accomplished so much in music, and now be in the restaurant business with a growing brand. I want to talk to him. And you all about how he scales his business, how he's planning. Do you all represent Teach? Because you all come together to do Tech Bites and Beats, right?
I think the relationship with Digital Grass and World Famous House and Mac is probably one of the biggest things we say we want in Miami and we don't get, which is collaboration. On one side, help Teach with operations, World Famous House and Mac. Then we collaborated to put together Tech Beats and Bites, and then Teach is kind of consulting us, and he works with us, and we're doing another venture called Junction 2027, which is a food hall.
I saw that.
So there's about 4 to 5 levels of how we work together. But I mean, Teach is real humble. Y'all, you know 2 spots. In my mind, I already see about 5 to 6.
Oh yeah.
And about 2 of them are in work. So this all started 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We did this thing called Spirits and Bites.
Yeah.
And Teach provided the food and the catering, and that's when we learned a lot about what he was doing and where he was going. And now it just became one of those things. Every time Teach is doing something with tech, he reaches out to us, and we kind of just, hey, what you need, we make it work. But it's not really a lot of how much money's involved, who can do what for who. It's really about, we know what we're trying to do for the community. So once it became about impact, it seemed like everything started falling into place.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at now.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because that does seem to be one of the biggest barriers to us working together in this community, particularly people of color, like they did with and maybe it's in the DNA somewhere, Now that I think about it, I was about to relate it back to the Freedom Journal. And that's they kind of fell out over money. So maybe it is somewhere in our DNA. We'll talk about that when we come back on the other side. I am Jill Tracey. This is Hot Talk on Hot 105.
105 is raised on
Okay.
RD.
If I could get half these motherfuckers to bring their ass over there. Okay, so you 5 people, call 5 people. And tell them, hey. Yeah, see, there was 152 people on Instagram. And 5 on YouTube. Hi, baby. Yeah. Of course. Okay, so I need to get you. Yes. She bring your glasses. Are we working? What is
Amazing. Please support these advertisers that support R&B and
Terry Williams, president and owner of One United
Oh, yeah.
How you doing? Good night. Good seeing you. Personal invitation to you to join the Bank Black movement. We must be more thoughtful about how we use our money. Build Black, Buy Black, and Bank Black to build wealth in the Black community. By moving your money to One United, you use a Lady Liberty Visa debit cards with their powerful images of blackness. So just go to oneunited.com.
Okay.
Start your gift shopping yet?
I will today.
Hey!
Shop at Macy's.
Says the
I'm giving away 3 iPhones to 3 to my left. Okay, whatever.
When I say it.
Plus thousands more specials.
Okay.
Online.
All right.
Extra 20 or 15% off with our Macy's Carter Savings Pass.
So yeah, like people are slowly finding us. I'm doing.
milk and cookies for you?
You got a chair?
The perfect gift brings people together. It's time to shop at Macy's. Savings off sale prices, exclusions apply. If you could get
You in a
rewarded
chair?
for sleeping, would you? What about for sitting on a bench, looking out at the ocean? Or for sitting in a comfy chair, watching football on TV? Guess what? That third dream job is real thanks to Buffalo Wild Wings. You can come in, watch football, and earn points with blazing rewards just for being there. That's right. You're a professional football
just
fan
got
now.
them.
Brag about it to all your friends.
They sponsored my cocktails this
Wings,
year.
beer,
And it was
Terms and conditions apply. Must be
no.
Rewards member.
That was just a pilot. Now we got to get it.
Download the Blazing Rewards app.
Oh, okay.
What you want for Christmas?
I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't really want that. I got anything.
Bring value to businesses and owners. That's John. So I want to come back.
That's what cheap folks want to get you what they want. I drew this for you. Now,
Yes,
don't
most
get that
definitely.
for Christmas. Buy me something for the show.
I know. Yeah, I'm like following you on Instagram, and like every time I look, it's like love it.
My sister went there. What day was that?
That's the instrumental. Damn it. Okay, I'll come out.
Your views matter to us. Call Hot Talk at 888-550-9105.
Be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and others have greatness thrust upon them. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people will always do that. But the really great make you feel that you too can become great. Welcome back. Never miss an episode of Hot Talk with the Hot 105 app you can download now for Android and iPhone. And if you miss it, you can always listen to the podcast on the Hot 105 website. Welcome back. We are talking to some of our leaders in the tech industry in South Florida, Michael Hall and Latoya Stirrup. are the principals of Digigrass, and they also host Tech Bites and Beats. Beats and Bites. I keep calling it Beats. I want it to be Bites and Beats. Tech Beats and Bites each and every Monday.
Just consider it this way. The food is the
anchor.
All right. The tech is the lead.
Yes.
The beats is because almost everybody that's doing anything in marketing or tech, especially of color, normally has something to do with music in some part of their life.
Boom.
So just consider
there you go. Tech, beats,
that's what holds it together.
And bites. That's everything. That's our lives right now. So Teach is in the building, along with Michael Hall and Latoya Stirrup, and along with John Sanders from 5-4 Digital, whose main focus in life is to bring value to business owners and entrepreneurs through actionable marketing tactics through the internet. So now you and I talked. You were on the last show, the first show that we did about Bitcoins and cryptocurrency. It is a new wave. It's sort of like the internet. When you started to hear about it quietly and nobody really knew exactly what it was, and slowly but surely everybody got involved. So what was it, yesterday or the day before? Bitcoin hit, what was it, 19,000?
Yeah, it hit 19,000.
And so now everybody's paying attention.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So if you could if you would explain, Bitcoin for dummies, like, the easiest way for people to understand it.
Yeah.
What would that be?
Okay, let me break it down. So Bitcoin essentially is a digital currency. So you can buy and trade it via the internet. And the way that it's regulated is via a ledger, like an online ledger. Let's say you go to Publix and you make a couple purchases, you put them in your bank ledger, right? So everything is verified through this online ledger called the blockchain. And the blockchain is the foundation of all these cryptocurrencies because it tracks all these transactions. And the way that people actually get Bitcoin without purchasing it is validating these transactions through the ledger, which is the blockchain. So that's the main cusp of what cryptocurrency is and how it's actually created online. Okay,
and so how did it become? How does it? Are there different Bitcoins, and how do they become more valuable?
That's a great question. So Bitcoin is one type of cryptocurrency. It's basically the benchmark because that was one of the most popular ones that was created in the beginning. So Bitcoin is pretty much the benchmark for all other currencies. So it's kind of like comparing the US dollar to other types of currency. Right?
Okay, that's a good comparison.
Yeah. So there are, I think last time I checked, there's about 1,200 different cryptocurrencies right now. There's tons and tons. Bitcoin is just the biggest one and the one that's snowballing the most because the platform called Coinbase.com, that's where you can actually buy and sell Bitcoin.
So that's like the stock market.
It's like the stock market for cryptocurrency, but there are only 3 cryptocurrencies on that site. The reason people flock to it is because it's extremely user-friendly. Again, it's called Coinbase.com.
Coinbase.com.
Yeah, so you can buy and sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then there's a third one called Litecoin.
Okay.
Right?
So now, how many of you all own Bitcoin in the room?
I do.
Okay, so everybody. Latoya, Michael, Teach, Dante.
I don't own no Bitcoin.
No Bitcoins for...
About to start. I'm going to be the first restaurant, so I'll be selling some mac and cheese for Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Okay, but so wait a minute. So could you do that? Like, is it tangible?
Yes.
So could you go to world famous House of Mac and pay in Bitcoin?
If House of Mac accepts it, heck yeah, you can do that.
That was a statement. That was an announcement.
See, there you go.
That was an announcement.
That was
breaking news. Thank you very much. Okay, so how do you do? Is it a credit card?
It's a few different ways, right? So one, I think, big misconception people have is you have to purchase one entire Bitcoin to get skin in the game. No, you can spend $100 and get $100 worth of Bitcoin. Right, you don't have to spend $19,000 to get one Bitcoin to get skin in the game.
And I think the name too throws people off because they think it is Bitcoin is one physical coin.
Exactly, and you can use it a few ways, right? You can do it digitally. You can make an exchange via each person has specifically a digital address that you can trade this money, right? But then you can also buy what's called a ledger, physical ledger, nano, where you can actually put your money on a physical like USB and actually trade that way.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have cards too now. They're very similar to like a debit card.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and then you just you just give your number as you trade? Like,
Kinda like a
okay, so
debit
if
card,
you
yeah.
were
Like a debit card, you just swipe.
Exactly.
You either have a debit card or you also get like a QR code that can be scanned and you can trade it that way.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's a public address, so you can share that, and no one can really take your money. It's just it's hidden by what's called a hash.
Right. And at the end of the day, currency, none of us really deal with cash that much anymore anyway. So
Exactly.
It's very similar to the way that we interact with a dollar bill. We swipe, we stick the chip in, so it's very similar to the way that you would work with Bitcoin.
You know what? And I that was my next question: is are we making it too difficult? Because it sounds just like we don't really deal with money, paper money, that much anymore anyway.
Exactly.
So, and I think just because it's so new and sort of foreign, people are just making it a lot more difficult than it actually is.
Exactly.
So
I don't know if it's more difficult versus most people just want to get rich and they don't understand the true art of investing in the first place.
Well,
so I don't think if you don't know how to invest, period.
Right.
Investing in Bitcoin as your first investment is going to be even more confusing. So if you don't understand the basic parameters of investing, and I would say go back, old school investing.
Right.
Only invest what you can lose.
Right.
This is step one.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If you're looking to become a millionaire at this point, you're 6 years too late.
Okay.
And millionaires become millionaires because they have money to sit on.
Right.
So if you're trying to put your life savings into Bitcoin, thinking that you're about to pay off all your student loans and debt,
not about to
it's not the time to do that. Because you have to look at percentages. Bitcoin is increasing at around 12 to 20%.
Right.
Which is better than the 0.01% you might get from a savings account at a bank.
Exactly.
But it's not a 1,900% increase like it was when it was selling for $600 last year. So you need to know basic math. Remove the aspect of what it is as a digital currency. Look at it in basic math. Because right now you have a better opportunity with Litecoin because it's increasing at 120 to 130%.
And that's because it is not as popular yet as Bitcoin.
Well, also some of the securities and just some of the actual, I would say the security of the ledgers itself, which of course is blockchain.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just not. It's more secure right now per se.
Exactly.
And so that's why more people are switching over, because when more and more transactions are opening, that gives all hackers a high opportunity to come into any kind of gateway to hack into a system. So the more gateways that are open, the more security. So right now, the best company to probably have for somebody would be cybersecurity just for Bitcoin.
Okay.
That would be a company that I would start.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
Oh, and yeah, just I wanted to add on what Michael was saying is another big misconception is that Bitcoin is the end-all be-all of cryptocurrency. It's not even the best one. Ethereum, which is another cryptocurrency, it just functions at a higher level than Bitcoin. It actually, for all the cryptocurrency transactions that happen, 50% of them are via Ethereum. And like Michael said, Ethereum and Litecoin are a lot cheaper than Bitcoin, so you can get in more at a ground level. And Litecoin, what was it a few weeks ago? Like $70? Yeah.
I think now it's like
now it's like $7. Yeah, I think it's like $7.
Wow.
It hit 311.
It's 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was up to 377 at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's all about diversification. So if you want to get into it, again, Coinbase being a great platform, you can put a little bit on Bitcoin. You could buy a whole Ethereum if you're able to, and you could buy a whole Litecoin. So then that way you're able to sort of get the balance of what's happening in the marketplace without feeling as if you're all invested in one.
Right. Now, are there Bitcoin brokers? Like
there's miners, but there's.
Well, would you suggest somebody going to somebody?
You do have Bitcoin brokers. One of the guys who comes to Tech Beats and Bites is a broker.
Mike is looking at you like, no.
No, but he is. He left the stock exchange and he went to become a broker. So he plays a bit of a middleman with sort of handling transactions and advising people who are looking to get into it.
Would you advise using someone like that?
I think it's at the end of the day, you need to do your own research. And like Mike was saying, understanding the way that investments work. You never want to put baby's college fund up if you know that you can't, if baby's college fund goes away.
Don't go out to eat for 7 days.
Right.
Think about what you would spend going out to eat. Think about what you would spend at the club. Think about what you was going to spend on that purse, them shoes, those rims.
Right.
Take that
and invest
that. And that was a good point that
I love that.
Dr. Boyce Watkins made, because he was saying instead of spending money during Christmas on gifts, use that money and invest it in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to spend about $1,500, you could just go ahead and put that in, almost get you a full Bitcoin.
And you can even do recurring payments. So you could do $25 a week. So about a year and a half ago, I started doing $30 a week, $40 a week, just putting it into cryptocurrency because I felt, okay, if I lose this,
You was doing
it's
this
not
a year
gonna.
and a half ago?
Right.
Ladies, if he's single, I'm just
He's not single.
Nah.
You know.
Baby at home.
Thank you. He even, listen.
That BTC wallet is looking like something nice.
Right.
Look.
Google figure out a year and a half ago what was the value.
Right, because they're on your Instagram right now looking at your wife and your kids.
Ruby's like, oh, like,
Do
girl,
math.
he was investing a year and a half ago. Bitcoin was only 60 something. He is great.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Yes. Well, yeah, you were fluid.
Yeah, I was. You
did all right.
He's like, I'm all right.
Yeah.
But I think that's the biggest thing. I think just for our, and I won't even say for our community, just a lot of people hearing about these millionaire stories.
Right.
Just learn the art of investing first. If you don't understand the art of investing, I wouldn't get caught up in Bitcoin right now.
Right. Well, and you're also hearing a lot of stories. I watched one the other day, it's Saturday. I lost $19,000 in Bitcoin. Don't do it, and this is why. A lot of those stories kind of. I only watched like one or two of them, but they sound like they had no idea what they were getting into, and that you wouldn't take $19,000 to the casino that you could lose. So just like say so. But there was this story in Financial Times and one in I want to say Bloomberg, about the skeptics that say that this bubble is going to burst soon. There's no regulation, and so there's it's just a wild west. There's no telling what will happen to it. So what are your thoughts around that? Are those just scare tactics to keep more people from getting in where they fit in now?
Yeah, I would say I think there is definitely an element of scare tactic, and just because that's the way the media works.
Right.
Right. The media likes to sort of put a lot more caution than information.
Right.
So then that way, if you just present us with the information, we can make our own assessment.
Yeah.
And essentially, we don't exactly know. It's all speculative. We don't really know where it's gonna go. And at the end of the day, if you only invest what you're able to lose, then what's the harm?
Right.
At least give it a try, and if you want to pull out, pull out. And you'll probably get more gains than you would from a savings account or a CD or any other form of savings.
Latoya, that was such a joke in there, but Michael.
3 times I heard it. I'm just gonna move.
Okay, we just go.
I think one of the, and John, I think the scare tactic right now is because they know they can't control it. So when you have a universal currency, where now you go to London and that Bitcoin is still the same value. You go to Africa, you go to Malawi, you go to Kenya, anywhere you go, and it's going to have the same value. It's going to be harder for governments to be corrupt because they won't control the value of a currency. And
Absolutely.
if a government is going to lose that much control, so you got to think of places like Venezuela, Peru, that are just going through all these problems right now with a corrupt government.
Yeah.
Imagine if, because like they said, I forgot the country, and it's one of the countries in Africa where they have billionaire poverty. They have these bills.
$1 million bill, yeah.
Right.
$1 million bill, $1 trillion bills, but the bill is worth
nothing. Yeah.
So if you have something that's going to balance that out, the government lose that lockhold, and it equals the playing field, which could be a segue into another one of your parts. That's where the fear of net neutrality is.
Right. This man is good with a segue.
So if you have a position where now you are cutting off, because that's what Bill Gates, and that's one of the things I would say Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg was doing right when they were trying to do the free internet for the world. You have access and knowledge that you're trying to cut off. So now if you can control it, you actually get back into what's going on with the politics in places like China, where now you can dictate what information is fed to certain communities because things are throttled or slowed down.
Right.
So if we can't openly share stuff for open source, now you're controlling a community in a whole different way. So people are worried about, my Netflix isn't going to stream as fast. Nobody cares about that. That's not what you should be worried about.
Right.
What you should be worried about is the mindset of control it's going to have when you can't even get to a website because we can't afford, Digital Grass no longer can afford to run our services, or we can't afford to upload because it's too expensive.
It's too expensive.
So now you can't hear these things. So a lot of things that people take for granted is going to be that information. So it's not even the fun stuff. Don't worry about what movies you can stream. Worst case scenario, go back to the old school and we download and we start selling the DVDs and stuff again.
Right. Somebody will always be there to sell you a DVD.
We can
no
get
worries.
content, but can you get access to educational and valuable information? That's going to be the scare.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Is that what is the, this idea that the FCC is repealing it. The one part of it, we know that Obama's edict is just to undo everything Obama did. Period. Just like the playbook. But the other part is, watch this shiny Russia investigation BS over here, while we while we seat judges for a lifetime that are not qualified to teach your child third grade math, and we strip the net of its neutrality. And now, what they did I was reading a piece that they did a study that if the site doesn't download in 6.5 seconds, people will leave.
Oh yeah, it's shorter than that. It's like 2.3.
Right.
Yeah. That's why they have loading screens now. If you can't see something within the first 2 seconds, they think your site is broken.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll move on. And I realized that I did it the other day, and I was like, oh my God, that's what they're counting on. Oh my God. So can you explain how net neutrality works? From what I understand, right, it will allow right now ISPs, that's internet service providers, all of them, have to behave, for lack of a better word. Everybody's got to be fair and behave. If that net neutrality is gone, then let's say whoever your ISP is decides, we're a conservative company at heart. So this is the kind of content that we think that the people that are, that are getting service through us should get first. Is this, will this A, happen, and B, how does that work?
Well, so when the FCC passed the 3-2 ruling, it messed up everything. One, because now it's going to depend on bandwidth, right? So like Michael was saying, you have Netflix, you have YouTube, you have Facebook. All of these companies are for net neutrality because they want to be able to siphon all this content to you regardless of bandwidth, right? So if there's a YouTube video, and then there's another video from, let's say, Vimeo, right? And they have a contract with Vimeo, they're going to more likely put that Vimeo video in front of you as opposed to YouTube because they have an agreement or they're paying more, right? So another thing is now it's going to make it harder for startups and companies as well. So you have Instagram that's established, right? And then you might have a startup that's coming out of nowhere that wants to get their name out there. They're not going to be able to because Instagram has such a large market share. And that's just an example. Right, but it's really going to put a damper on the freedom on the internet and how we actually conduct our business on it.
So the right wing perspective on it is that net neutrality will actually improve the internet. So I was reading a whole article about it, and they were just saying that essentially the FCC, if that were to happen, if an ISP were to determine that they want to sit there and block or slow down a particular website, the FCC could step in and then say, shame on you, to hit you with some issues. But the thing is that from the consumer perspective, if that were to happen, let's say Digital Grass's website, because let's say we're in the woke phase, and we know that woke is something that's being targeted.
Right.
We're talking about content creation. So let's say they decide to slow us down. From the consumer perspective, you may not know that that's what's happening. You may think our website just sucks. So you go away, because if you go to the next website and it works fast, then you're going to think that works and ours just sucks and you'll never come back. You won't necessarily think that that's the ISP or the service is particularly targeting us. So there's the whole issue. I think that especially when you look at what the right wing is saying and why they're for this, is that they're not taking into consideration how it will impact businesses and then what it actually will do on the consumer side.
Yeah.
So what they're going to have to do, somebody's going to have to make a tool. And everybody's listening, BK, I see you on. You're going to get this done in Ohio. Somebody's going to have to make a tool on a browser.
Right.
That it'll show the internet speed and how fast that site is loading.
At all times.
If it starts to feel like it's throttling, or it's being slowed down, it should automatically send a report to the FCC to show that this site is actually being slowed down. If you start regulating the speed, it would be a very simple browser it would be a very simple plug-in that can sit on top of any browser. So if they do that, that's the part where you'll have to get to. So it's like I've done it sometimes, like middle of the night, 12:30, I'm like running tests on all the stuff in the house, or I'm just uploading. I'll just notice the speeds are slow.
Right.
internet, and I'm paying to be at 150 megabytes per second. Run a test, and it's about 30.
Right.
You run the test twice. What's happening is they're getting that ping to realize, oh wait, he's testing speeds. The next thing you know, by that third test, it's up to 175 megabytes per second.
Yeah.
So they do it already.
Yep.
We just don't have a way to monitor it, like Toya said, and that's going to be the problem.
Right.
And also, everybody's missing. They're buying up content. Disney is buying Fox.
Oh, hello.
Time was just bought out.
Yeah.
So as they're buying up content, it's still one of those things. Control the narrative, control the perspective.
Exactly.
And right now, they're taking control of the narrative.
Yeah.
That's why we need more independent content.
Yeah, and that is one of the other reasons, coming up on the, next year, the second Sunday of next year, we will be talking about, why you need to stop worrying about mayors and start worrying about DAs and the Justice Department and the justices, federal justices, local justices, because...
It's called Politics 101.
Thank you.
Break it down so people
that's going to be a good conversation.
Yeah, because a lot of people seem to, the mayor, city council, commissioner, that really is not important. Those are not lifetime appointments, and then people will be gone, and,
they turn them out.
Will be your lawyer, but these judges will be for life. But we're going to talk about that on the other side. So, Teach.
Hey.
So, babe, listen. So how did, well, I shouldn't even say that. I know how you did. But when, I mentioned earlier on Big Mouth, from Big Mouth to where you are now, how did your street game help you in the digital age?
Well, I learned street team from Dewberry, God bless his dad, and then from Dewberry, I started working with Uncle Luke, and Luke took it to another level because he took me across the country and just threw me right in it. So now I started seeing how they do in Chicago and New York and Philly and everywhere else, and I just packaged that up and brought it back home. And basically, through working with Pitt, my strength with him was always really grassroots. I helped him really get things popping in the streets when he really needed that. But just marketing is being in tune with the market, right? So things started going digital, from the two-way pages to things just started evolving, and I just wanted to stay ahead of the curve with it. So just started educating myself. When I seen things start going digital, when I seen things start going towards content, we bought the cameras and we started creating the content. When I started seeing things really going in the tech space, I started just jumping on a flight and going to Silicon Valley and just really putting my finger, just trying to just learn and just get my finger on the pulse of things because I want to know what's coming next. True story, I brought Pitt Uber for equity, and when Uber he passed on it, but that's another story. We talk about that another time. But but that's from me, because I figure homie, he's very talented, and it's gonna come to a point where you ain't gonna want to be jumping across the stage all day to make some money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I'm seeing Scooter Braun was out there, a lot of Justin Bieber's manager, and a lot of people was out there, and they was connecting the dots. Because what was happening in Silicon Valley was you got these socially awkward dudes creating. You look at a lot of these major companies. They was Apple was born in a garage. A lot of these companies were born in garages.
Right.
And you got these guys that's creating these really cool things, and it's all right, cool. What do we do now? Right. So I was trying to bridge the gap between the artists and he has a huge audience. He has a huge a corner of the market. So I was just trying to use his platform to kind of amplify some of these other things that going on. And but so that's how I really got into that. But technology, and then I connect with Mike and them because I'm a nerd. Be honest with you, I just love technology, and
well, you really created with Conceptual Reality Group.
Yeah, Conceptuality.
A lot of people don't know that was really kind of a lot of people think that's just Shaq, now, but Shaq used to work under. He came with you.
Shaq and Lucky, but even Shaq and Lucky, those are my guys for years. But
you created that. I'm sorry. I wanted to say
I created Conceptuality, but my thing is when I did music,
Right.
I contributed to building artists, and I'm at a place in my life right now where like I want to build bosses and I want to build business owners. So I started conceptuality and I gave that to Shaq and Lucky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, like that's the place I am in my life. Like I started World Famous House of Mac. I got my young boy Reggie, and but I'm teaching them to be bosses, and I want them to, you know, we on second spot right now. I got another spot coming in March, and you know we building. But it's like, you know, they seeing the responsibility from going to the truck to the restaurant. I had to pull people from here to bring them over here, and it's like, okay, cool. I need you to step up now, and I need y'all to come here with me. But in another 3 months, we're gonna have another spot, and then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
My biggest thing with expanding is just the consistency. So I gotta have a strong group of people around me that could you know, execute.
Well, you know, when I first came back from LA, I was, you know, just kind of taking care of my mom on South Beach, and that whole like what is that, west of Sunset Drive. On South Beach was starting to blossom with the Pub Belly boys, right? And they had Pub Belly, and then they did the sushi joint, then they did the Italian joint. They had like a block within like a year and a half, and I'm like, why can't we do this? What is the deal? Why can't we scale up like that? But I think well, it's a mentality, and I think that technology has a big part of that, because you know it took Jackson's like what 20-30 years to get a second location, you know, and through the use of experience and technology, you're moving at, you know, 10 times the speed. Yeah, so we'll talk about that on the other side, as well as, you know, how South Florida looks from where you all sit. Stay tuned. I am Jill Tracey, and this is Hot Talk on Hot 105.
Make some jobs easy.
Oh, well, look at there.
People still get injured on the job. Car accident or any type of accident. Remember, after 911, call 411. 1-800-411-PAIN. 1-800-411-PAIN is a legal and medical referral service, non-employee spokesperson.
Hey, this is Terry Williams, president and owner of One United Bank, the largest black-owned bank and the first black internet bank in America. This is my personal invitation to you to join the Bank Black movement. We must be more purposeful about how we use our money. We need to build black, buy black, and bank black to build wealth in the black community. By moving your money to One United Bank and using your Mona, Amir, or Lady Liberty Visa debit cards with their powerful images of blackness, you show the world that black money matters. So just go to oneunited.com today.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Open Jar. Consult your doctor before discontinuing any medication.
Attention, do like probably the open of that.
Prilosec, Prevacid, or any other proton pump inhibitor to treat heartburn, indigestion, or acid reflux. You may be entitled to significant cash compensation. The Journal of American Medical Association recently reported that proton pump inhibitors, including Nexium and Prilosec, may increase the chances of individuals developing chronic kidney disease by 50%. If you or a loved one took Nexium, Prilosec, or any other proton pump inhibitor and have experienced kidney problems such as chronic kidney disease, renal or kidney failure, dialysis treatment, or even a related death, call 800-291-6517 now. You may be entitled to significant compensation, but hurry, time is limited. If you or a loved one took Nexium, Prilosec, or any other proton pump inhibitor, call 800-291-6517. Operators standing by 24/7. Call 800-291-6517. That's 800-291-6517. 800-291-6517.
I love hip hop. They should love hip hop. So people eating in the middle of the yard. People just come and spray
Sky High Wheel is the biggest traveling wheel in the world, and enjoying Santa's license of over 100 rides, shows, games, and attractions. Pay one price, and all rides, shows, lights, and parking are free.
It's like, yo, like, I brought Love and Hip Hop out there, which is a great look for them.
Yeah.
And then the people in the middle.
Oh, Wynwood Yard.
Yeah, the people in the middle thing eating, and then some lady just come through spraying fertilizer. And I'm like, yo, you wouldn't have did that shit if it was Yom Kippur or some shit like you wouldn't have did, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't have did that. Like, why do you feel like you could do that? But I'm trying to change that, but through action, because like I just feel like a lot of people just talk about it. You know, since you know me, I've been my own boss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of people just talk about problems
and they don't do anything about it.
So like my thing is like, man, look, if I can start businesses, I can create some jobs that's gonna trickle. It might be somebody who got a record that somebody might not hire them because they care about that like that, and I might not care about it like that, and I can hire him, take him off the streets. Like my GM used to be a blood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's a great GM. Like he's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he never realized that it was a way to get money like that.
Like that.
Maserati.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He drive Maserati.
Yeah.
Selling chicken and waffles.
Thank you.
I mean, real talk. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? Because we know basketball, we know sports, we know entertainment, we know dope.
But the tech is
but all these other things, like we just don't know it,
money and all of it. Yeah.
And it's money.
100%.
Bono said he made more on that 3% he had in Facebook than he did his entire musical career.
Right.
YouTube. That's what I was trying to explain to Pitt, man. I'm like, bro,
that's right.
But when it came to a point where like I'm talking to homie and he wouldn't even, I'm like, bro, I'm bringing you Uber. Like when I had to still explain to him what Uber was, he was like, well, what is it? And I'm like, well, you know, this is what it is. I brought the people and I put them on the phone with Ryan Graves.
Get it. That's the shit to invest into. That means it's ahead of you.
Right.
I met with him like 6 months ago. That's the first thing he said. He said, man, yeah, I was like, yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
I know he was sick.
But you know what I mean? That ain't even like a light. That's like life changing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
You're talking about equity and you ain't have to do nothing but give you a name.
He had to put no money in.
Do 2 commercials and then straight.
Nah, because what happened was they was trying to launch in Miami. They was trying to launch in Florida.
So they wanted him to be like an
And
ambassador?
they were going through all the stuff with the lobbyists.
Yeah, I remember that.
They was getting a lot of pushback because of the tourism board here with the cab. It's like, dog, and I'm trying to tell them, I'm like, yo, listen, it's gonna happen with or without you, because they pockets is so deep. They spending that bag. Believe it. All you gotta do is just get in the middle, wave your arm, make some phone calls.
Be an ambassador.
Right.
Make it easy.
Get it on paper. He didn't understand it.
Yeah.
That's up.
You know, man. About to get this bag with House of Mac.
Okay, 3 of y'all are just really ride or die right now. Love you, mean it. But Dante over there is gonna give me some video that does not have like all this going on. When you look at the top of my head, right, Dante? I said Dante is gonna give me some video that does not have like on the side of my head in it that we could use on the Hot 105. It would actually be kind of cool if I actually had somebody like working this shit.
And boom, you better call one of your minions in here.
You said something to that earlier. It just, they last for 90 days. Tops. You know what I'm saying? These young kids that like, right.
We can have a whole conversation on that. They don't have the ambition.
No.
Like us. That's the reason why we get
To join Hot Talk, call 888-550-9105.
Yes. Little Philly Cootie at midnight, opposite people. Welcome back to Hot Talk, 888-550-9105. You can join the conversation tonight. We are talking Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, all things digital, and how you get in where you fit in on the new ecosystem, the new frontier of internet and cryptocurrency, and, you know, how you can use a lot of people, you know, and the reason why I ask my guest, I have a Teach, who is the owner, proprietor, CEO of the world famous House of Mac, along with Michael Hall and Latoya Stirrup from Digigrass, and John Sanders from 54 Digital. And one of the reasons why I asked them about how, you know, you can take, I asked Teach, how you can take your, you know, old school education and flip it, you know, and use it in a new school way. It's because you have a lot of people in our community who just are like, I'm not on that internet thing, and I'm not into all that digital thing, and I want my money in cash, you know, and it's hard to get them to understand that it, you know, it's not just a fad, it's not just something that you know, the kids are doing, you know, and it's how do you engage them without making them feel unable to catch up, for lack of a better word. So I wanted to start off this part of the show. We're Hot Talk After Midnight now, and ask you all. Now I'll start with you, Teach. Is there a viable circle of influence of African Americans in South Florida, right, that can really move our agenda, our, you know, as you were just speaking about, how we can move, how we can have progress in our community?
I'm sure there are a lot of them that exist, but me personally, like, I've always just tried to surround myself with greatness, and like, you know, like I went under Luke's wing because I just thought, like, historically, like, what he's done is just amazing. So like I surround myself with people like Luke and the Mike Gardners and the people that's like doing things to move the culture in the market, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not afraid to ask questions when I need help or I need advice. I go to these people that I look up to, or I respect their business moves and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, I'm not a part of any circles of influencers or something like that, like what you're saying, but I'm pretty, I'm not.
You are the circle.
I was about to say, you are the circle. I mean, see, this is what I'm, oh wait, hold on.
But you are the circle.
Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this? Hello? Sorry. Hello? There you go. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this? Hello, Broadway. How are you, sir? Yes, indeed. What's on your mind tonight, Broadway? Go ahead. Go ahead, Broadway.
I've been doing a lot of research on Bitcoin, and I see it's going to be like a bubble. If you got money to invest, just take a chance for it to get in and get out, but that is not something you want to put your life savings on. Think you're going to get rich. Too many people keep asking me, why don't you? And I'm like, dude, that's the next bubble.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Okay, see, that's exactly what we were just talking about, Broadway. That, you know, how to transfer that thinking. Why do you think that is a bubble?
Because there's nothing I can hold my hand onto. It's nothing I can just grab physically and say, oh, it's this or it's that. It's nothing that's physical I can put my hand on. Even the stock people, you can go to and all that stuff. Yeah. When you say you're dealing with soybeans, there's soybeans over there. You say you're dealing with oil, there's oil over there. You say you're dealing with gold, there's gold over there. I don't see nothing that say Bitcoin is Bitcoin.
I mean,
but
can we talk?
There we go.
What's up, Broadway? It's Mike, man. How you been? I see what you're saying, but you know what? You could put your hand and you can see a house, but that didn't control the housing bubble. The way money moves, it's just a situation that you gotta understand. Now, I will admit, if you got your life savings in Bitcoin, you need to be operating more like a day trader. You have to watch this. You have to watch the currency every hour to make sure you're not about to lose everything. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people missed out on I think almost everybody has missed out on some investment because they didn't understand it versus choosing to educate themselves on it. And they've been saying, and John, you might want to quote me if I'm wrong on this, but they've been saying Bitcoin was going to be a bust for the last 4 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every day they're like, oh, this is the last, this is it, and then it jumps into another fork.
People don't realize Bitcoin was around. The first Bitcoin was was made in 2011 or something like that.
Yeah, it launched in like 2008.
Right, and you had an opportunity to buy it for
pennies.
11, I think it was 8 to 11 cents per coin.
Right.
In 2007.
Right.
So if somebody in this, just think about it. If you would have taken $500 to $1,000 in 2005, 2007, when they was pre-coin, when they was just thinking of the technology, if you would have just taken basically what you would spend on a good night at the club in a bottle,
right,
and put that down, you would be worth about $14.6 million right now.
Yeah, and then to challenge too what you were saying, Broadway, about not being able to touch it. You actually can, because Bitcoin is based on a technology called blockchain, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not a soybean, as you were saying, but it's based on technology. So if it were to be a bubble and if it were to evaporate, the technology that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin is based on is not going anywhere. Banks are adopting blockchain, and everything is adopting that type of technology. And then too, the theory and the reason why it exists isn't going anywhere either, because it's the great equalizer. Countries want to be able to have the same currency that matches other countries. So if right now my dollar is different than what it is for those in China or those in Brazil or those in Venezuela, but with the Bitcoin, a Bitcoin is a Bitcoin regardless of where you are. So that's the power of it. Right. So if Bitcoin were to evaporate, Litecoin will still be there. So there's the other ways to look at it. So don't necessarily think that, it's going to evaporate, because it's not really going to do that. It may ebb and flow just like the internet. The internet had a .com bust, but the technology that is the internet is still here. That's what we use every day.
But I think one thing you said right there is key. By the time the internet bust happened, they were truly ridiculous with it.
Right.
It was out of control.
Pets websites going for people taking out second mortgages on their home to get into.
But when you're talking about currency and you're talking about international issues, I totally agree. It needs to be,
and that's why we're here.
It needs to be a 101. But like you said, Broadway, most people that are confused aren't even investors in the first place. So it's people right now that if we told them, hey, World Famous House of Mac is about to do a raise for its third location.
Right.
If you come in with $5,000, you'll own this percentage, and you'll get a free meal every week. Right. Even if you said that to people, they got a free meal they can touch, and they got equity share, they still wouldn't invest, even if they had the money. Some people just are fearful of investing in general. We have to educate people on the art of investing, period.
And taking risks.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Okay.
We can hook you up with that, I'm sure.
Right, we can make that one happen. All right, darling. Thank you for calling. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Love you, mean it. I love him. And I think that you hit it right on the head. And I think that the reason why I framed the question that way is because our community has a bias towards working on things that are unseen and unknown, and we have a mistrust of working with each other.
You know what? I want to put something out there. We also have a problem with insecurities of not being able to praise others for their greatness.
Okay.
So to be sitting here and you have Teach, Teach is the service.
Right.
Like, by the time Teach came to work with Luke, I had just stopped working with Luke. And I was joking.
Oh, you worked there too?
The face, his logo.
You did the logo?
Yeah.
Shut up. Did we must have met back then.
Trust.
I left. When did I leave Luke?
Logo.
Yeah, the second one. That was perfect.
I was there with the original Skywalker logo.
You were there. You came after me.
After you,
yeah. I did Luke's Mind. I did the clubs.
Yeah. Right. But the second phase, you came back and worked with him again. I missed you in one of your now phases.
He's a masochist.
So it's just one of those things. But me and Teach have had the discussion like, yo, every day we're not going to agree.
Right.
But we got to be able to communicate and make
Exactly.
those impacts. So I think that's really one of the things. It's not even what we can't see, what we can't touch, and what we don't understand. It's what we don't do and what we don't say and what we won't. But I take the vulnerability of. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to say you're my friend. It's another thing to say, you know what, man? I look up to you. I appreciate what you're doing. Let's work together.
Right.
And more people will sit on Facebook and Instagram and envy your life and never say, what can I learn from you? And like one of the biggest things he said is asking the right question.
Or what I find, what I hear a lot on this show from entrepreneurs is that people will come in, they'll learn a little bit from you. They will get just enough that they think, okay, then I'm going to go out now and do my own. I'm going to do my house of chicken and waffles and I'm going to charge $10 less than him and I'm going to make my money. Why he got to be the boss? I'm going to be the boss. That is a big problem that I hear from entrepreneurs that sit in these seats.
Yeah, and I think that's the mentality that has to be gone. I think my biggest thing is you need to provide value. You can't think about, oh, this person's going to take my idea and run with it. I think providing value, number one, it empowers people around you so they see you as a leader or a thought leader in the space, right? And then number two, a lot of times people want to work for you, learn from you. At the end of the day, sometimes people are going to get really good and they're going to leave, right?
Right.
But as long as in that space of time you're providing value and vice versa, I think that's the best bet. And that's basically how, we built the business, and it's really about collaboration, like Michael said, and again, just providing that value, not looking for something in return.
Look, Jill, don't do business with somebody you won't have a drink with.
I don't.
But beyond that, right? Like, I think I got a purpose in life right now. Like, everything I've been through, like, as far as like people being able to absorb information from me and stuff like that, and that's a fear out of people. Like, listen, I feel like I got a responsibility to my community to bring some of these young brothers up that don't know.
Right.
And teach them something. Like my guys that's under me right now that work for me, I don't intend for them to be working for me for 5 years.
Forever never, I'm in.
Running
right.
a business.
But I'm not even talking about 5 years. I'm talking about 90 days. They figure like, oh, I got it now. Now I see what they're doing.
You just got to take as a loss.
That happened, to a great degree with the whole like beauty industry.
I was going to say.
In South Florida, where somebody would bring, a very hot salon, would bring in the hottest, people in town, and rather than build that to be one of the biggest salons in South Florida, period, they then all go out now and they're trying to open a business. They can't. Right. They drop out, and then somebody is sitting there watching all this going, what about all those office buildings that are sitting dormant? Why don't we turn them into beauty suites? Yeah, that's it. And now you got this all of these, little it used to be an office building. Now there are these little suites where you can only get 2 people in there. So you can never scale up out of, in there. You can't, you will never make your money, period. And you can only service 6 people a day.
Right. And that's one of the things I was going to say about the beauty industry when we had Miko Branch on from Miss Jessie.
Yeah.
She talked about that, how when she launched Miss Jessie's, and then there were a lot of duplicate. And, the product quality was bad, and it sort of, it changed the market for her. And that's one of the things that she was just saying about how important it was for her to own her IP and to make sure that her recipes were her own and to be able to, her packaging and her shelf space. So it's so important to, like you said, bring value and make sure that you are having your own sprinkle of greatness on your work. Because no one can duplicate your own greatness.
Yeah. So when you think about South Florida, I do a series called From Where I Sit, where I talk to people like y'all that have carved out a niche for yourself in South Florida. A lot of people, every third person that you talk to that's doing well in South Florida, it's probably not from here. It's been proven out pretty much here. My life here. I'm from Detroit. Teach. NY. Mike, where you from?
Alabama, North Florida.
I'm a local, born and raised.
Oh my God, in the county of Dade.
Yes.
Amazing, John.
Brooklyn, but I left when I was 6, so I'm pretty much a Florida.
Oh, okay, so you kind of right. You kind of
I learned from Luke though, like
right.
You know what I mean? Like Luke,
well, yeah, we definitely
I
learned
from
a lot.
People that was homegrown here though. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean, and I've worked with Pitt, who was from here. Like I've learned from greats in Miami.
Right.
So It's not like I'm from New York and whatever. I've absorbed things that I picked up in the market.
But you learn, I should say, because we have a same kind of trajectory. Mine kind of started with Jerry Russian, Luke. Well, no, it really started with Luke and then the Jerry Russian and on and on. And there's a whole nother hustle. There's a whole nother work ethic happening there. And when we talk about working as a community, do you see hope for that? I see a lot of silos, right? A lot of little groups of people that are doing work together. They trust each other, they do work together, but they do not work across groups, right? Excuse me. Do you see hope for a change in that?
Well, I actually want to be the change that I want to see in my community. That's why I do. And like one of the good things about being an entrepreneur is that, again, like I can provide jobs to the community. I change people's lives, right? So, and listen, you're gonna talk to some people and some people gonna get the message and some people not.
Right.
I just don't want to be one of those people that just sit there and just talk about it and complain about it.
Well, yeah, because you will get online and just and tell people not, because there was some thread and people were talking about restaurants and how we don't support black restaurants and this and other. And you're like, no, that has not been my experience.
I mean, because even with that, right? And like people arguing with me, telling me that black people don't support me, and I'm telling you, I said, I got a restaurant in Wynwood, and people driving to come eat my food from Florida City.
Yeah.
Key West, West Palm Beach.
Thing.
You got a lot of options in between there.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna play like the black card. I'm not gonna be like, well, they, because I'm black, support me. I treat my brand like a brand. Right. Because when you go to the supermarket, you gonna buy Fruity O's or you gonna buy Fruit Loops. You gonna buy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
how many Winn-Dixies will you pass to get to Publix?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, real talk. So I treat my business like a business. Anybody who's been in my business, I go to table to table. How you doing? I communicate with people. I talk to people. I make sure it's straight. If it's a problem, I fix it. I don't just sit there and okay, cool, we made it, whatever. So I built a brand, and then it's one thing for me to get people in the door, but it's another thing for me to keep them in the door and keep them coming back. And you got to treat it like a brand. It might be something you doing wrong. You might not have a strong brand, or you might not have, it might be just things that you're not doing wrong. That's all I'm not connecting. But
right.
When I got on that thread, they were saying that we don't support. I got things on my menu that I sell $30, $40, and I sell out of every day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's never a problem. So if you treat your brand like a brand, I think people will respect it as such. But you got to provide the quality and the consistency, and
And do you think that is that something that you would offer to those who are not having the same sort of success that you're having in this space, that may have been in it longer and are not achieving what you're achieving? Would you offer that is what they're missing?
I mean, it's like when you're talking like an artist, right? Mm-hmm. It's a full package. You might be able to sing,
right?
But that don't mean you're a star. That don't mean that you're gonna do the work and do the promo and do all the stuff that comes along with it. You're just a great singer. A good artist is like the package deal. It's everything.
Yeah.
So with this food thing, I've been seasoned from a lot of different industries. So even me coming into it, me building a brand, this is what I did for artists in my sleep. So. Right. I know how to connect with people. I know how to tell a story. I know how to build a brand, and then thank God I know how to cook. So
and your lobster mac and cheese don't talk back.
Thank you so much. It don't talk back. I mean, that's just real talk. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm happy. Beyond everything else, I'm chasing purpose and passion right now. I'm not even trying to chase a bag. You know what I mean? It's I'm doing this because I love it. Yeah. And I think that's a different kind of wealth because it's so many people. You could go around a room and ask people, well, what's success to you? One person's success might be having every pair of Jordans and a gold chain and whatever, but another person's out there success could be, I want to own the block. So it start here, and then it
because that is where you actually started. Yeah. And then you went into music.
Yeah.
So this is like your first love, and you were able to do that and come back and
follow on passion. Yeah, and then it's just been awesome because I go to work every day now, and it don't feel like work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a different kind of. I can't even put it into words, but I would definitely try to focus on if I give anybody advice.
Right.
It would be to just try to follow your passion. I mean, I think the world would be a way better place if more people focus on that versus just trying to just chase it back.
Yeah. Michael?
I'm optimistic in the way of what I see, and I do believe some of the people that's making the biggest changes, they're kind of doing it in silence. You won't really see what they're doing because it's about the energy you put out versus the energy you receive. And I just think too many people.
So I love that. Do you think that you need to be protective of your energy until you're ready to release your fire on the world?
No, I think strategically, God puts certain people in your life. Mm-hmm. It's up to you to be open to the ideas. It's like we were talking about my homeboy Constant Living. He came over and he sold his businesses and moved to Colombia, you know, and he's living life like a king. But he comes back to educate me and we share stuff, right? It's never about who you share it with, it's how you share things. Because sometimes you need to just leave people with gems. Like we have a team, we're like our own little Ocean's 11. You know, we have our Silver Fox. You know, we have Toya that's making moves. We have Dante that's the executioner. We have Gail, you know, that's the boss. If you put yourself with the right team and you remove egos and you remove expectations of failure, because most people don't go into entrepreneurship because they're scared to fail.
Right.
If you remove the expectations of failure and trust in a team and build a team around you, that's how you get in the community. Because if I go through Dante and I go through Toya, they're going to reach 20 people that I wouldn't talk to. So you got to be willing to share with people. Right. But at some point, the circle has to close.
That's a great place to stop. I'm going to take a break. We'll be right back on the other side. I am Jill Tracey. This is Hot Talk on Hot 105.
So it's like what you're saying. I think everybody can do it, but you gotta know.
Everybody which can't go with you.
Yeah. Right. At some point, you gotta shut the circle down.
Well, I want to pick up from there. Huh? Yeah. So you got like. Oh yeah. Run.
Too many times, you know, people just want to do it on their own and they're not sharing the right information. I think some people can be selfish with information.
iHeartRadio app. Download it now.
Too bad to get around and enlighten each other. And you never fear.
That support Hot 105.
Right. And I think what happens is a lot of times, I know what has happened to me in the past is that I thought it was iron, but that shit was copper. It was, you know, it was like, oh my. Yeah. Exactly. James T is what told me, everybody with you can't go with you. And you do. I can't tell you how many. I mean, you know how many times you have to clean your house. Yeah.
You show the world.
And it takes a couple of times to have to just straight clean house to be like, okay.
And I put in like little practices. Like sometimes I'll call police just to check in.
I went online to 57cash.com yesterday.
Yeah.
Bam.
Like, but you get to a point that you can't even talk to
$4 was in my account today. Wait a minute. 57cash.com helps you get 4K just like that. You know it. 57cash.com provides fast cash personal loans for up to $5,000 for people like me with any type of credit. Man, I'm always showing cash.
To feed me.
When I'm waiting on somebody to cut me a check to feed my kids, I'm never going to let myself get put in a position. But beyond that, I'm happy. And I'm in a place where, like, I get people who I want to get money with. I get money with people I want to get money with now. So I surround myself.
You can make that choice, yeah.
So, I mean, that's where I am in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at my Instagram feed the other day, and I don't even remember smiling as much as I like. Like I smile, and I'm just happy, and like if you look at my feed, like.
Well, it's funny because you would never know before. I mean, when you were, when you were grinding, when you were a big mouth, but that was, we were. When you said Dewberry, I was just like, okay, hold it together. My dog is named Dewberry.
Really?
I went to, when I was at the funeral, I'm sitting in the pew, and God is my witness, I heard you need to get another dog named Dewberry.
Really?
And I was like, okay.
That one hurt me, man.
And I have one dog. I go to the pound like almost a year later. And I see a little dog and I'm going to get this one. And I'm like, we leave. And I walked past the cage and the dog was like,
yeah, right.
I was like, that dog is staring at me. The dog was Dewberry's favorite color, brown, with hazel eyes. I was like, okay. And the dog's name was Lola. So it's like, okay, so you're gonna be Lola Dewberry. And she, when I tell you, she is a pit and a Dotson mix. Right. So she real low to the ground, but she's like, just like Dewberry. And she is when I tell you, you can't get near me. Can't get near me with that little girl. But Dew was the realest. That I really stopped doing clubs after that. He got shot in front of his house. Yeah. That was it for me. Because it means, they say honor among thieves. It was honor among us. I might have to bust down the bathroom door to get Dewberry to get my damn money tonight. But I was going to get it. He was going to make sure I got home safe. And, and now, it's a whole nother game out there. Yeah.
In the club.
Yeah. It's like, huh? Yeah.
Your views matter to us. Call Hot Talk at 888-550-9105.
And we are back. We are closing out on the last live show of Hot Talk for 2017. Next week is Christmas Eve. So, we play all Christmas music. I was going to be here. I told Phil, I was like, hey, I'll come in. It's Christmas Eve. I'll, bake some cookies and hang out with people. But we'll be playing Christmas music. And from the sound of me, I need a rest. And then New Year's Eve, I'll be here with you because we are doing our mix on New Year's Eve. So we'll bring the new year 2018 in together. Let me grab this call right quick. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this? Okay. Hello? Did I do something wrong?
No, you're good.
I'm good? Hello?
I am.
Okay, love you, mean it. Okay, whatever. I don't know what happened to them. You can call back. Maybe try that again. No, hold on. Did I? Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, babe. Hi, who's this? Hello, Everett. How are you? I'm good. This Hot Talk? Yes, it is, sir. How can we help you? What's on your mind?
Hey, I've been listening to you for a while now. I've been trying to get to you. I've been calling. I'm hearing the program that y'all talking about. Me, myself, I am trying to put something together, structure of to what's going on out here now with the kids in the community. I grew up myself as a negative path, and I, kind of right my wrongs, and I made a bit of success, and I like what's going on and what's been said. And what I need some more information, and basically I need some help how to put a platform together of how to get to where I want to be, to what I want to do. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. So I'm going to ask our platform builders here, Michael, LaToya, and John. We'll start with John, and we'll go over to Michael and LaToya. What would you offer? What is the name of your business? Can you all hear him?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Break it down. Uh-huh. In 2 minutes or less. Right.
What I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to create a structure because the way the kids are going right now, they're out of control. And there's no, they don't have any sense of thinking on a social level, like a serious mindset.
Right. Right.
What I'm trying to do is structure a program to try to see if I can reach out and try to pull back some of these kids on the right path. Because I see them every day. day. I dealt with them every day, and I know that they're far gone. So what I'm trying to do is get some sense or some knowledge of how to go about structuring this thing. You know what I mean? So I need to talk to somebody that can help me, or you can put it with somebody that
Yeah.
can tell me, you know what I mean?
Michael?
It's real simple. Take the message you just gave us and
Right.
Some sense of knowledge to show me like, hey man, you do this, do that, you know, and things of that nature, you know what I mean?
right. So the best thing for you to do is take your story, find yourself 1, 2, 7, 10 young men, tell them the mistakes you've made.
Can you not hear him? You can't hear him?
I can't hear nobody. I can hear you, but I can't hear nobody else.
Hello?
Oh, okay, hold on. Can you hear him now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
There you go. Okay, no, he heard you. He heard you. He heard you. You just couldn't hear him. Okay, go ahead.
So what you need to do, take your story, get yourself anywhere from 1 to 10 young men.
Thank you.
Tell them your story, and just try to help guide them. The biggest thing is people always worry about a platform to help the community. Sometimes it's just about talking to somebody and them hearing your story. Most young men don't have a male figure in their life, so they just need someone they can talk to and someone that they can rely on. So you can just be a mentor without putting a program together, and you can make an effect on somebody's life and be a life-changing, you can just catch a young man maybe doing something wrong and just talk to him and tell him why that's not beneficial and help guide him in life. Don't look for a platform for a solution. Be the change that you want to see in the community, and just go out there and talk to these young men. Most of them just need someone to talk to.
I know what you're saying. I understand very well what you're saying, and that's
So next year when we call you back, when you call back, we want to hear how many young men you sat down and talked to, and we want to hear the change you made in their lives.
Yeah, you know what? No, listen. No, he makes a very valid point, because tonight on CNN they did the CNN Heroes, and one of the heroes they honored was a young man who's the same exact story as yours, and what he knew was boxing, and so he took a dilapidated boxing ring in Detroit and just invited the kids in the neighborhood to come and just box. And then as they got to know him and trust him, he was able to build exactly what he's talking about. He would just come in, let them fight. They would learn, he would talk to them. And then over time, he built a program. Make it happen.
I went in when I was like 23 years old. I went to prison in 1997. I came home in 2010. That was a whole new era of change.
Right. Uh-huh.
I took the time when I was in there to educate myself. Like I was listening to you talk about the big coins and things of that nature. Very much I brought myself, because I went in there as a total idiot. You know what I mean?
Well, no, we understand.
Like a financial aspect. I look like I said, off the street.
Well, I mean, there's street money, there's sweet money, and they're starting to come together. More and more every day.
Dope boys are some of the best accountants out there.
Right.
Who else know their money down to the dime?
Hello. No. I mean, there's like sweet, like office suites. There's street money and sweet money. Office suite money. That's what I meant. Okay.
UIT, and some is more corrupt than the streets.
Hello. Listen. Wait, hold it.
You don't need a structure. Just go out into the community and make it happen. Just find a young man and start talking. That is your structure. The structure is get out there and do it. You doing it?
Amen.
That's the platform.
Hang on. Okay. Yeah. I think that's what it is. A lot of times people think it's so much bigger than it should be bigger than what they're doing, and it's like, no.
Or that they have to start something. There are tons of programs already out there. So
we don't need another one.
Joining in and adding your piece.
Yeah. Get in where you fit in. Find one that's doing, speaking to the kind of kids that you want to speak to. But yeah. And we really don't need another. There are more
facilities looking for more volunteers more than anything.
OIC.
Yeah, there's hundreds of them. So speaking of which, we're rounding out. It's the holidays, and so will you be working through John? Are you working through the holidays?
I'm working. one thing that I've tried to do is structure life where it's, I can automate a lot of these processes because, I have a 6-month-old, so it's that really changed my perspective on time management. And I think entrepreneurship, another, I'll say, misconception is that you have to work 24 hours a day to be successful, when in reality, if you can teach people, you can automate your processes within your business, you can kind of take yourself out of it, focus on biz dev or wherever you have your main strengths. That way you can have time to travel and do different
What
things.
What is biz dev? I know it's business development. Sounds
like going out and getting new clients, doing sales videos, providing value to the marketing community.
Now, do you teach? Now, speaking of platforms.
Yeah.
Now, is that something that you teach? Because I think I know I'm doing this shit. There are a lot of people in that space, and there's some romance connected with, oh my God, I work 24 hours a day. I'm like always busy. I'm like so tired. I'm just like, I haven't slept in 3 days. And
Yep.
And then, I have this year done a little bit too much of that. And then it ends up like this, like physically you become ill because you're not supposed to be doing all of this. And having gone to, my mother, I've just told the story many times, my mother has dementia and, got it, if you can say that, when she was 65, which is very young in my opinion, right? So I started going to the caregiver classes only to find out that there are people even younger. There was a man in there whose wife was 40 and she developed dementia. But one of the things that I learned in that class is that one of the things you need to stop doing is multitasking, because your brain is not meant to do 6 and 7 things at one time. So the one thing that they offer people who are scared, because if that's happening in your family, you're scared it's going to happen to you. And that is the biggest fear, that, oh my God, as soon as you start remembering stuff, it's like, what was her name? Okay. Oh my God, I'm in the process. But we talked a lot about how, you have to break. And you're not servicing yourself, because at some point you're just busy being busy. And it's really not productive work, and it's really not focused work if you are really working 24 hours a day and you're not Bloomberg.
Right. And why would you want to work 24 hours a day? Like, where does family come in?
Well, you know what?
Self-care come in?
Because a lot of people fill up we've had that this year too.
Oh, no, I'm sure.
Fill up their time with work or busy work to avoid everything else.
Right.
Okay, why are you over there sucking your teeth, Michael Hall?
Because a lot of people just lie.
That too.
Bro.
First of all,
they be on YouTube for 5 hours.
Yeah, most people. Most people ain't even working that hard. I mean, just being real.
Clearly.
So it's just like,
because they're not getting.
Because how much time people spend on the internet,
right?
Like Facebooking and
like that email you could have got done in 3 minutes. You took 20 because you got distracted and you took a text message and then.
Exactly. Well, that's being.
Video you was so. This is my thing.
Yes, sir.
Know when to clock out. Meditation doesn't come in the form of just sitting in silence. It's the development of your brain. So it could be the gym, it could be art, it could be going for that jog, it could be going to the movie. It's just removing yourself from somewhere your mind can escape and just go to another place. Meditation doesn't always have to be traditional. I think if people just stop lying to themselves, like I've gotten to a point when people say, "What are you doing?" I try not to say I'm busy or I've been busy. I actually try to tell them what I'm doing.
Right.
Like, I'm actually just sitting here messing around on Instagram. I ain't really doing nothing.
Right.
Like,
I'm scrolling. Right.
Like,
I'm scrolling.
Like, what's up? What you need?
Absolutely.
You know? But at the same time, like, Toya's my friend, Dante's my friend, but when I call them for business, sometimes there's no small talk. Right. Like, yo, what's up? I need this. Send this over. Get this email. I need that invoice. You cool?
Love you, mean it.
And I'll holler at you. But execute business.
Right.
And quit lying to yourself. You're not that busy.
Right.
And if you 100%. Are that busy and you still broke,
there's something wrong.
You're just doing things the wrong way.
Exactly.
And we used to be busy all the time, broke.
Right.
We've worked less this year and made more money.
More money.
Exactly.
Yeah, and most business anyway happens early in the morning. So technically, if you were to work your day right, you could be done by like 2 o'clock.
And I ain't even gonna lie, I don't do early in the morning, but that's what I got a team for.
Right.
Like, we got a morning meeting. Yeah, Mike might not make that. I'm not a morning person. I'm a creative.
Yeah, that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. You have the freedom to sort of craft your day to fit your schedule.
Your schedule, yeah.
But like you was asking, like, tomorrow is that last event. Besides invoices and reports,
It's a wrap.
I'm making furniture and I'm painting. You know,
Good.
I'm doing stuff.
And that's the thing about entrepreneurship. It's like you build it, you cultivate your entrepreneurship around what your lifestyle is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were talking about constant living, right? Dorrance, right?
Dorrance,
Yeah, I actually met him. Well, not met him physically through Facebook a couple months ago, and he's an online entrepreneur who sold his businesses here and now he lives abroad, right? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So
worked on Wall Street.
Yeah,
just saying, like.
You build it how you want. Exactly. So if you want to work 20 hours a week, you have to build an infrastructure to be able to do that, right? But if you want to work 75 hours a week and make X amount of dollars, you really just have to cultivate it around your lifestyle and what you want to achieve. So for me, you know, having a 6-month-old, I want to be able to spend time with my kid. I want to be able to spend time with my wife and create and travel and do certain things. So
right.
My thing was, okay, I need to hire these certain people. I need to put these processes in place to be able to do that. Exactly. Right. So that I can say, hey, that looks great. Go ahead and send it to the client, as opposed to doing it myself. Sending it to the client and that taking 4 to 5 hour window.
Jill, you know what? Since you said you're going through this cold, I'm gonna tell you what Dorrance told me. Spend your money on 3 things: bills,
yes,
experiences,
yes,
and family.
Yes.
If it doesn't fit in those 3 things, you'll realize how much money you save.
Bills, experiences, and family.
An experience can be dining. It can be traveling.
Yeah.
You know, it could be if you spend your money on experiences, family, and bills versus things to impress other people that really don't care about you.
Oh yeah, well I was about to say that. That's not me.
But it's not you. But we know a lot of people.
Well, I know a lot. I do. I know a lot of people, and it's a toxic energy,
right,
around people who are, you know, bathed in, like they put it on,
right, putting on the air,
and now I'm somebody. It's like, yeah, no, actually not.
Used to go shopping. Now the jeans come from Target and Walmart. They the same jeans.
Target, man, that's the spot.
$14.99 for some jeans.
$7.98 for this T-shirt right here.
Yeah, I would never spend $80 on some jeans again.
Oh my!
Get some holes in
exactly.
It,
Listen, when you see me in Old Navy back in the clearance section, you know why.
Right.
Okay. Because it is fast fashion, because it, you know, I've got about 6 wears out of it, but I paid $5 for it, so I'm good.
You got your photos in it?
Thank you. I'm good. Teach. So a few fun facts before we get out of here. All right, so I'm going to round robin. So how do you live in Miami like a tourist?
What?
Yes. Okay, see? It's foreign to you. No, like how do you, like, what do you do to, like, live like a tourist in Miami?
I don't.
At all, ever? Okay, could you reiterate what you just said to that man?
Experiences.
Experiences. No staycation, nothing.
Nah, I just got back and I went to Italy about I leave when I need to get like some. I need to go get culture shock from like other places to get influences, and I come back and I bring it back. But cause you know, like I lived and breathed like nightlife, and just like I spent so much time out. So like a good staycation.
Well, you know, like a botanical garden or something, you know.
Nah, I mean like my wife likes to travel, and then like when I just get away. Like I just want to. A staycation for me is somewhere I can go and I could turn my phone off and I don't have no phone reception. You know what I'm saying? And I could enjoy my peoples.
So what part of Italy did you go to?
We went to Venice. I went on a Mediterranean cruise.
Uh-huh.
So I went to Venice. I went to Santorini, Greece. I went to it was a nice little joint.
Like a week?
It was 7 days. I was going for 10 days though.
Good for you.
No phone reception. I was in the middle of the ocean.
That is a beautiful thing.
That's considered stake because I'm a business owner and I'm here. And then,
right. Okay. So, what is your favorite destination in South Florida? And like when you really want to go have a good meal, where do you go?
I mean, I like local spots. I go to Chef Creole. I go to. I'm picky though too. Like I cook, so I cook a lot at home, and I do a lot of barbecues and stuff like that at my house because that's the only time I really get to see like my family.
Oh wow! I'm sorry. Do you have my address?
Oh, you ain't get that?
Maybe not.
Yeah, I need that.
No, so you got it. So Miss Teach, she be sending a little text.
Okay.
I'm responsible for food.
Okay, well let me make sure she got my phone number. Cause I missed that. I missed that invitation.
But listen, like I work a lot, so like for me, like time off is like me being at home and watching Netflix and just disconnecting. So I'm probably like the worst person to ask that question.
Okay, so Mike, right? What do you do when you want to live like a tourist in Miami?
A1A, Delray, Pompano Beach.
Okay.
I grew up in Panama City, so that old beach life.
Yeah.
So 1986 Nissan 300ZX. Take the tops off, cruise the street.
I love it.
A place to go hang out.
And your favorite place to eat?
Honestly, if it ain't House of Mac.
It
works. It works.
That'll work.
Right now, Papa Sauce, a barbecue spot up in Deerfield.
Okay.
I'm real big on. I mean, I grew up in Alabama, so that side of the road barbecue where you know it's probably illegal and they ain't got no license.
Right.
Now Papa Sauce got his license.
Papa Sauce.
Yeah,
okay.
Papa Sauce. He got some ribs and he got this sauce and his bread pudding. And that pudding sauce got a little bit of ooh-wee in it. Got some rum in it.
Okay.
So that's what we did on Saturday. So for me, any good barbecue on the side of the road, I'm good.
I like that. Latoya?
Ooh, for me to be a tourist, where I'm a local girl, I would say just trying something new. I love going to different restaurants, paying attention to what's like coming out in the new times, and just really sort of experimenting and staying on top of what's new, and then giving it a shot.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily have a favorite restaurant.
What something new that you tried that you would recommend?
Let's see. Nothing's really coming to mind per se. I would say so a lot of things is going on in Coconut Grove. I grew up there.
Okay.
So there's some redevelopment happening there. So you have Cal, which is owned by Kush.
Yeah.
And all of those burger joints are really, really good.
Again, that's another one of those little groups.
Right.
You know, they just start like popping up everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
John Saunders.
Yeah. To decompress, we like to do staycations, so I might book like a nice hotel on the beach and just. The funny thing is, the last time we did that, I was working out in the hotel room and actually rolled my ankle, broke it, so we had to come home early. So that showed me when we're on vacation, staycation, relax.
Just relax.
Right? Leave the laptop home and just decompress.
Where did you? What hotel? What staycation hotel would you?
We stayed at the W in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Yeah. It's nice to have a restaurant there. Yeah, in the lobby. It's like a steak spot.
Yeah, and they have nice, those nice like ocean suites. They have a nice view.
Exactly.
The spa there is nice.
It was. And food, like, we're like major foodies. Actually,
yeah, I know.
House of Mac will be there next Saturday. So
right?
I'm dead serious too.
Good.
Yeah, House of Mac is. Listen, I'd have been there yesterday, but that cheese,
I think it's called.
I got a vegan Mac now too, though.
Oh, nice.
I'm not trying to have no Aisha Mac. I love her to death, but she can have her. What I want some real dairy and all of that.
All the goodness.
But all that mucus inducing, but not when I already am carrying all this mucus.
Yeah. Right.
So Michael and Latoya, what have you learned about yourselves doing this podcast?
Oh, you want to go first? Because your mouth was open like you got something to say.
Doing this one?
No, doing your podcast.
Tech
Bites. This is a radio show.
Right.
No, your Tech Bites, Beats, and Bites.
You just gonna butcher it all night, huh?
Just, I get on these things. I do. I'll mispronounce somebody's name one night. Just can't stop. Tech Beats and Bites.
There you go.
If you're doing something for the community, keeping that as a focus. Hearing people say I did this because I heard something you guys did on the show, or I changed my path because of something I heard. I think the fact that we really set out to build something for the community, the most thing I learned is people really just need to hear something. I don't really know what I learned about myself as much as I learned as far as the community.
Okay, so with that being top of mind, would you say that you have learned that is motivation for you?
It's amazing how much people don't know outside of their own comfort zone. And the stuff we take for granted, like me and Toya, we can see each other on Monday before the show and we can talk about 20 topics.
Right.
Then you talk to some people and they're like, I had no idea.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I think just we take knowledge and access for granted. And sometimes we would talk about things and people like, I had no idea. I'm so glad y'all told me about this. And sometimes it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because it may not even be something across the world. It could be something that's happening in Palm Beach.
It could be something that happened on a brickle.
Right. And so I think that was one of the biggest things. Like, we have all this technology, but as far as a human experience, we're so disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So doing that show live and having people come and talk to us after the show, you really learn like you're providing something to the community, and if you're not making money, you're providing a service.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say, legacy is huge for me. I'm all about, creating and doing efforts and projects that ladder up and support my family name and everything like that. So just so for those who may not know, so my great-grandfather was one of the pioneers of Miami.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very much rooted in the story of Miami and seeing Miami blossom. So whenever someone asks me or talks to me, I'm always like, this is when you want to be in Miami. Miami is still small enough, but big enough to where you can come in, you can sort of establish something and watch it grow. You can be a part of the change and a part of the movement. So what I love most about what we're doing with Tech Beats and Bites is that we're chronicalizing it, right? We're taking video, we're talking about what's happening, and we're putting it on a platform so that way people can see the change. They can know what's going on, what's happening in Overtown, what's happening in downtown, what's happening in Brickell. Yeah. And they can see those people who are out there making moves and doing changes, and they can get involved or they can be inspired. So I think that that's one of the main things that's been very, I'm very proud of with what we're doing.
With what you're doing. And John, what have you learned about yourself with creating 5-4 Digital?
That's actually a really. I was trying to think of my answer while everybody else was going. So for me, I learned that you can, in the tech space, you can really create something from nothing, right? I mean, you can literally take an idea and make something tangible, make it profitable, or make it benefit someone from just a thought, right? And I feel like the internet empowers all of us. You don't have to be a great web developer. You can find someone on Upwork that can help you do that, right? You don't have to be the best content writer. You can collaborate with someone online to get your idea across. So I feel like if you want to start a blog, or if you have an idea, or anything that you have as an idea, you can make it tangible via the internet by just networking with the right people and just creating this kind of internal structure of just coming together and building something from zero, from scratch, right?
So you would say that you learned that you are a really great communicator.
Oh, I don't think I'm the best communicator. I think.
But you are, because you've been able to take your ideas and communicate them to other people who have helped you create.
That's true.
A really viable business that then adds value to other people.
No, absolutely, you're right.
I didn't mean to answer that for you, but
Thank you.
I appreciate that. And I'll close with Teach. Teach, you listen started from, I won't say the bottom, but now you're here.
Right.
So what has your journey taught you? About you.
Well, my journey taught me about me is that I spent a lot of time focusing on a lot of other people's legacies and a lot of other people's everything, and I didn't spend a lot of time. I didn't spend enough time on my own. So I don't know if you know that the logo on World Famous House of Magic, that's my father. Yeah. So when he passed away, it just kind of made me look at a lot of things differently, and same thing like Latoya was saying in terms of like legacy and stuff like that. Like when my dad passed away, I started asking myself stuff like, well, if that was me, like, what do I have to show for? Like some plaques on the wall, a couple of dollars in the bank, whatever the case may be. And that's what really like awoke in me and showed me that I wasn't really focused on my own enough. So everything I'm doing right now is just really like legacy driven and just trying to just focus on, just building something that I can leave when it's all said and done. So, I mean, I learned about myself is that, well, one thing that I told you earlier is like I'm never going to be in a position ever again in my life where I'm a depend on another man to cut me a check.
Amen.
To feed my family. So I mean that's one thing I learned like through my journey. So that's what I'm on right now.
Amen. And well, this being the last show of the year, I will say that I have learned from all of you that I can do this. I've been doing this for 15, 20 years maybe, but I've always been on somebody else's show. I was the
you're number
morning
one for your time slot.
Hello, somebody.
Award, right? Yes.
Hello, somebody. And so it, you have to take that leap of faith, and I did, and I had to beg, cry, get people to write letters, that I should have this show and I could, be in this space. And I'm glad I did it, because now, it does. It motivates you that what you say matters, what you're doing matters. And, there are people that really want you to continue to do it, and it helps their lives. Just like you say, things that you think are so common are not to other people. So
Jill, we do this thing. Won't you do it real quick? Everybody close out with one word to close out for the year.
Okay.
Not a phrase, not a sentence, just one word.
Yeah, because that's all we got time for. One word.
That's what we do. We do the final word at Digital Brass.
Final word. Love.
Legacy.
Establish.
Upgrade.
Passion.
Bye.
Drop money.
What's up,
That's good.
Really good one.
Okay.
That's what I wanted you to just say Felicia at the
Okay.
That would have been 2 words.
Right.
Appreciate you, man.
Oh, thank you. We gotta get a picture for y'all. Thank you.
Always good seeing you.
You too, man. Walk out. All right, let us get our group picture. Yeah. Y'all get up out of here. Sure.
I love you so much.
Oh wait. Where's my phone?
It's Hot Talk with Jill Tracey. Always live, always local, always entertaining and educating South Philly. Heard every Sunday night from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. The views and opinions expressed on Hot Talk, guests and callers are not necessarily those of WHQT, Hot 105, or Cox Media Group. Our studios and offices located at 2741.
Okay, bye, you 3 people that hung in there for an hour and 40 minutes. Love you, mean it.
105.
Are you sure you want to stop? Yeah.